Back to politics. In a new op-ed, Mitch McConnell, the outgoing Senate Republican leader, is urging President-elect Trump to reject calls within the Republican Party to embrace some manner of isolationism. McConnell writes in part, quote, "The administration will face calls from within the Republican Party to give up on American primacy. It must reject them." McConnell has long been a supporter of United States aid to Ukraine, among other issues. I want to bring in our political panel. Joel Payne is a Democratic strategist and CBS News political contributor. Matt Gorman is a Republican strategist and served as a senior advisor on Senator Tim Scott's presidential campaign. Good to see you, gentlemen. Matt, I want to start with you. Does an op-ed from Mitch McConnell right now to President-elect Trump on any topic matter?
With love to Mitch McConnell, no disrespect, probably not. Now, I would say the framing on this is important, right? I don't think even the Trump administration would characterize what they're doing in Ukraine as isolationism. For example, they want a forward posture on China, for instance, and they want to take on China aggressively, economically and otherwise. But I think what they would probably counter with is that trying to strike a deal, to use Trump's terms as he used during his press conference today, in Ukraine is not isolationism. I think that's where the rub is between McConnell and Trump.
In his exit interview, probably one of many he will grant, Mitt Romney told CNN over the weekend that the Republican Party is now Donald Trump's Republican Party, and the one that he led in 2012 as a nominee basically no longer exists. And I think he would point to this question about interventionism, America first, as one of those places of divergence.
Yeah, but again, what I would say is it's not as dramatic as I think Mitt says it. Quite frankly, the Bush Republican Party, when he won the presidency and when he won re-election, was modeling his image. The next Republican president, whenever they're elected after Trump, will be the same way. If you remember, in 2000, President George W. Bush said he didn't want to get entangled in foreign wars, if you remember that as well. So look,
and in 2004, his second inaugural,
absolutely,
we have to be the engine of democratic reform globally.
Absolutely. So these things can evolve. I don't think it's as dramatic as Mitt puts it. These things are parties reform the shape of their president no matter what.
Joel, what is the state of resistance right now with the Democratic Party and Trump?
I thought you were going to ask me about the Republican Party. You know, Mitch McConnell, that left wing of the Republican Party, not the center of the Republican Party, the left wing of the Senate GOP, Mitch McConnell. The state of the resistance. Look, the pushback to Donald Trump is different this time than it was in 2017. Different circumstances, the country's different, the atmospherics are different, and anybody on the Democratic side, both elected office holders and outside groups, all understand that. I think you're gonna see a lot of folks picking their battles more, maybe not chasing every car that runs down the street.
Meaning not be reflexively opposed to everything.
Well, I think there's opposition to Donald Trump and his stated premise and governing philosophy, but not necessarily reflexively opposed to things that might be good ideas. You've seen plenty of Democrats, Bernie Sanders, Jared Polis, folks like that who have talked about Donald Trump ideas that they can get behind. I don't know if I would suggest that every elected Democratic office holder is going to do that, but I think you'll see more of that this time than you saw before. I do, however, think there is still a lot of energy against Donald Trump, and I know that right now there's kind of a muted response to Trump among the left. I wouldn't overread that. I think that there's pretty strong resistance out there still.
At his press conference today, President-elect Trump described differences between then and now. If we have that sound, let's play that.
One of the big differences between the first term, everybody was fighting me. In this term, everybody wants to be my friend.
Everyone wants to be my friend. Matt, what does that mean?
It means that, I was talking about this with folks before, people left, right, center could, in 2016 and 2017, say that the Trump election or presidency was an aberration. They can't
kind of
say
a fluke.
That. Yeah. Exactly. It's an affirmation now in so many different ways. And so that's why not only do you use the opposition, I think it's different, right? There's no, what I would even say is the intensity is far different. I mean, you can oppose everything with Donald Trump if you're a Democrat, but it doesn't need to be, Mach 1.
I disagree with that.
But what I would say is also what you're seeing is the CEOs coming and genuflecting in a way that wasn't before.
On CNBC this morning, I heard it referred to as kowtowing.
They would be doing the same thing if it was Kamala, but they might have already been in her camp. But regardless, you're seeing it in a different way. People realize they have to adjust to new medium, not try and evade it.
I heard Matt talk about this affirmation thing before.
Go ahead.
I do not think that. I think this is a rejection. Trump in 2017 and then Trump in 25 is a rejection. It's a rejection of the status quo. It's a rejection of the establishment. It's a rejection of institutions. I don't think that's an affirmation of Trumpism. People did not vote for Donald Trump to go and sue news companies, to go and chase political enemies, to hire people, to put them in to break things that work for them on a day-to-day basis. That's not what people hired Donald Trump to do. They hired him to lower the cost of eggs, not to send Kash Patel on fishing expeditions against people.
Or to raise doubts about the efficacy of the polio vaccine, which President-elect Trump basically backpedaled from very aggressively today, and so did RFK Jr. on Capitol Hill.
I saw that. And look, I actually think RFK Jr., compared to some of Trump's other nominees, probably has an easier opportunity to get to 50+1 in the Senate, maybe even peel off one or two Democrats. I think that there will be a lot of pushback to that for those Democrats. But to be honest with you, some of those Democrats might be looking to create some of that tension on their side. A Democrat like John Fetterman, who's been doing a lot of saber rattling about kind of some independence from the establishment of the Democratic Party, doesn't mind that type of critique.
Matt, I want to ask you about something regards what President-elect Trump said. Everyone wants to be my friend. You've had to be a student of President-elect Trump. Does that deprive him of one of his great energy sources, an implacable foe who's always resisting him?
Oh, I think we got some on it. Don't worry. I will say this, though. I think he always has wanted, for example, he loves the fact he's Time Magazine's Person of the Year. And he should, right? But it's that old guard where he loves being on the face Time Magazine. He loves that mainstream acceptance. CEOs, people he used to hobnob with. Remember, he used to have dinner with Regis Philbin all the time before he was a presidential candidate. He loves having that life, glimpses of that life back. He can handle the Democratic political foes. Every time he gets glimpses of what it was like to live on Fifth Avenue and be Donald Trump, real estate titan, I think he likes.
We'll see how Donald Trump, the establishment, wears on him over time.
Joel Payne, Matt Gorman, thank you very much for hanging out. I appreciate it.